Así como lo primero que se te ocurre, ¿cuál es la idea en tu vida en general o en los últimos años que más te ha retado, que más ha sido un desafío para la manera en la que piensas y que ha cambiado tu manera de pensar o tu perspectiva sobre el mundo?
La primera es el tema de lo que nos hacen creer nuestros papás y la sociedad como lo que es correcto y que uno al final de cuentas tiene que desaprender. Creo que nos enseñaron que el mundo es muy optimista, que el matrimonio siempre tiene un final feliz, que Santa Claus existe, que hay unos mandamientos que vienen de más arriba y que al final de cuentas estamos llenos de prejuicios que no nos permiten realmente entender lo que somos. Entonces, la idea de que nos mentimos a nosotros mismos y nos creamos nuestras propias narrativas, nos inventamos nuestras propias historias para poder confrontar la vida misma, que tiene a veces ansiedad, que tiene el reto y la dificultad de confrontarte con la muerte, que tiene la dificultad de vivir momentos difíciles y de repente decir, no, espérate, tienes una responsabilidad tú. Pero aún dentro de esta responsabilidad hay muchas cosas que se llaman suerte y que no porque te fue bien se merece y se debe gracias a ti y que porque te fue mal se debe gracias a ti. No eres un loser, pero tampoco eres un héroe. Las circunstancias son mucho parte de esto. 2, tienes grados de libertad. 3, te engañas muchas veces a ti mismo. Y 4, lo que te enseñaron tus papás toda la vida y el mundo y la cultura, pues no era cierto. Debes de estar consciente de que es una suerte, un accidente que estemos aquí, que es una suerte, un accidente, que a veces las cosas salgan bien y que si las cosas no fueron como te lo esperabas, pues tranquilo. En pocas palabras, la mejor idea que he tenido es aprender a ser estoico. Esa gran idea me la dio sin duda Séneca, me la dio Marco Aurelius, me la dieron los grandes estoicos que me han enseñado a entender la vida de una manera, pues a veces no más feliz, pero sí más plena, no más fácil, pero con un mayor propósito, pero sí con mucho mayor serenidad.
Ha habido 2 ideas que me han cambiado de manera fundamental el pensar. El primero es entender el genoma humano y cambié mi afiliación académica, cambié todo lo que hacía para entender el genoma humano y ahora creo que podemos alterar el cerebro y me metí al grupo de neurobiología sintética en MIT cambiando otra vez de campo.
Well, I guess, like so many scientists, the more you learn about the world, the more wonderful it seems, the fact that it actually works as well as it does and it's as complicated as it is. And so I think that, at least in my case, is something that has become even more striking as I get older.
La idea más retadora que he vivido es la que vivo actualmente y es qué hacer acabando mis estudios. Y es que la Ciudad de las Ideas, el impacto que tiene en mí y en mucha otra gente de lo que he escuchado es cuestionarnos si lo que hacemos es lo que más va a contribuir a la sociedad, si lo que hacemos va a aportar algo al futuro de la humanidad, al progreso del conocimiento. Y yo estudié Relaciones Internacionales y ahora la idea más retadora que tengo es desechar todo lo que ya estudié y meterme más de lleno a neurociencia, a behavioral science, a ciencias del comportamiento. Y es una idea preocupante porque no sé si cambiar de rumbo, pero al mismo tiempo es una idea retadora porque implica aprender cosas nuevas, un campo completamente ajeno a lo que estoy acostumbrado y muchas nuevas posibilidades.
Lo más importante, yo creo, lo que puedo resumir es que el hombre es hombre aquí en China y como lo había comentado antes, yo creo que en nuestra labor como médicos, si es lo que decidimos hacer, es otorgarle la posibilidad a la gente de tener una vida mejor, más saludable. En mi campo de la neurotrauma, pues siempre estamos luchando contra la vida y la muerte y es tratar de desarrollar técnicas y tratar de hacer todo lo posible por evitar que el paciente sucumba, pero a la vez que tenga la opción de rehabilitación. Entonces, en la idea de heridas por arma de fuego, por ejemplo, que siempre se ve que son heridas devastadoras y que la mortalidad es muy alta, había que pensar un poquito fuera de la caja para ver de qué manera podemos solucionar el problema agudo del paciente y darle la oportunidad de salir adelante. Ahora, cierto es que no vamos a poder traerlos nuevamente a lo que eran antes de lo que sufrieron, de la herida, pero podemos prevenir el deterioro que sigue después de la lesión inicial. Y esto fue lo que ha inspirado esta idea, lo que estoy haciendo con los pacientes sirios, que no importa qué tan grave lleguen, voy a intentar hacer todo lo posible por ellos porque hay la posibilidad de salvarlos, como lo vimos en la plática.
I have been changed by many things. I'm not sure that I have been necessarily changed by an idea. I grew up in Israel, and there are many wars there, and everybody needs to go to the reserve service, and I had to participate in 3 wars, 3 horrible wars.
You did?
Yes, in 3 horrible wars.
Which one?
And the Six-Day War in 67, the Yom Kippur War in 73, and the Lebanon War in 82. And I believe that those wars have changed me in a profound way. I mean, in terms of what I think about war, what I think about human life, and things like that. I think that has changed me more than a particular idea, I would say. I thought you would ask me, I mean, what am I most curious about today?
Okay.
And what I'm still most curious about today as a scientist is actually if there is life outside the solar system, and especially if there is complex life outside the solar system. And you see, we live in a very interesting time because I actually believe and almost know, I would say, then within 2 to 3 decades, we will either find life outside the solar system, probably simple life, not very complex life, or we will at least be able to say something meaningful about how rare life is. Like to say, oh, well, in less than 10% of all Earth-like planets around Sun-like stars, there is life, in case we don't find anything. So this, I believe, will be within 20 to 30 years. Unfortunately for me, I'm not sure I will live to actually see the answer. So that's something that I'm really most curious about, and I wish that I would see the answer during my lifetime.
The most challenging ideas are the questions that we're addressing. And I'll talk tomorrow, but the little time I have about the challenges we face to think about what is space and what is time. And which I believe, which we're now trying to understand and might enable us to answer questions like how did the universe begin. So that to me is the most challenging, the one I would really like to understand in a sense what space, what time are made out of. What's behind space and time.
I think it's that there is more than meets the eye, that you cannot get so caught up in your own experience and try to understand the universe just from what you know. You have to be willing and able to think very abstractly, and that has been challenging, but it is something that helps me.
I mean, it's hard for me to classify. Every day I'm surprised. Every day I learn about myself, and every day I learn I'm wrong about things. As a scientist, I think one of the biggest surprises was something that I was right about. And you, in fact, you just interviewed my friend Adam Rees, who won the Nobel Prize for something I proposed, which was that empty space has energy. I proposed it because I thought the data was wrong. And then I discovered the data was right, and we were right. And the fact that the universe, it changes everything I thought about the future of the universe. The future of the universe will be totally different than I thought it would be 20 years ago. And I find that so wonderful. I really proposed the idea I did because it was heretical, because I like to stir up things. And I thought, as I say, it was wrong, and the biggest discovery, the biggest surprise was to be right. It's very satisfying every now and then when you glimpse something about the universe that's really true. And it's an experience that's hard to explain. But if it happens once in your lifetime, you're very lucky.
I think one of the surprises of the genetics sequencing revolution was about how closely related we are both to each other and to things like chimpanzees or monkeys, that we're not that different, and that all the differences that we perceive come from a very few little changes. And so that was a surprise. And that changes how I think of myself. And so I think of myself as more of a machine than I used to. More of a body that's very similar to a chimpanzee in many ways, and that the little spark that makes this difference is really something that is relatively minor, and that I have maybe more in common with both chimpanzees and machines than I thought.
That one's easy for me actually, and it's not work. I'm a mother and I have a teenage daughter, and I think I've learnt more about humanity through her. You know, I'm going to be there doing my kind of women's cause, and she's like, Mum, you know, it's about being a humanist. And she teaches me something new every day. And I think that's a different perspective, which is that being a mother, as well as somebody who wants to work and be brilliant, doing that, as well as wanting to be a great wife. And I just think there's something where we learn every day about how we can become a better human being. And I find that I learn more of that through my children than I do through anybody else.
I mean, right now it's this topic because I'm so concerned that if we don't solve the problem of how technology is undermining the one instrument that everybody is living inside of, then there won't be a future if we don't protect this. So that's changed my mind in a huge way. And I think the thing that changed my mind really about it was seeing that technology is not just waiting to be used, but it actually has like an AI. So when you make that metaphor of, you know, it's like a chess player playing chess against you, and it can see many more steps ahead of your brain than you can see, it's going to win. And when you realize that all Facebook and Twitter are playing chess against your mind to figure out what can capture you, it's seeing many more steps ahead at what's going to capture us. And that idea really changed how I thought about this problem, because suddenly you realize if chess is beating you, you don't say, I should have a more mindful, breathing relationship to the chess that's just kicking my butt. Like, it's not going to be enough.
You know, over the last few years, actually, I grew up all my life in a city, and I'm very much of a city boy. And several years ago, my wife and I wanted to buy a country house and really felt the need to escape the city. Nevertheless, we did not know how much effect that would give to our lives. And at some point, we started realizing that we are sleeping better, that we are spending more time with each other, we are less and less paying attention to our phones, we are spending more time with the kids, we like to spend more time in nature, and even more important in all of that, the fact that my best ideas in the last couple of years were born there, in the nature. So it really made me study and think and read about what is the effect of nature and why is it that I feel like this? Is it just the setting of the house, or is it actually the presence of trees and greenery in my life? And I think that, yes, it's probably a combination of both, but I think that it really made me realize that incorporating nature and the fact that we are, taking a piece of land, forgetting about nature, pouring concrete, and that's it, have to change. It's got to change, and it's our responsibility as designers and architects to do that.
La idea más retadora es la posibilidad de ser libre y actuar con responsabilidad. Libre en todo el sentido de la palabra, para poder escoger, pensar y hacer lo que yo crea que es conveniente. Y ese es un gran reto para mí y para todos.